Everyone, welcome back to another video. Today is an announcement video. Tonight, right now, this will be uploaded at 8 o'clock tonight UK time. If you go to my website, centauriperfumes.com, the samples for Shambho are available. I'm not selling full bottles yet because I've not filled them and I want to give people time to sample it if they want to. There is a limited number of samples and there is a very limited number of bottles. Well, they're both limited. I won't tell you how many there are because I don't want to be the hype person. After they've all sold, I'll make a video and let you know exactly how many there were. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to sell samples now. Unfortunately, I have to apologise. To do this legit, legally, where I don't get in trouble, I have to, even with a 2ml sample, it's dangerous goods. I know it's a ball ache, but it's got alcohol in it. So basically what that means is I can't put it in the regular post if it's going overseas. You're not allowed. It's got a chance of being destroyed by customs and I've got a chance of being fined, and is it worth the risk? So I have to still ship it dangerous goods, which means it goes FedEx, which means it costs exactly the same as it would if I sent a full bottle. So I'm sorry, the people overseas, you're probably not going to want to sample it, but I can't help it. I just have to apologise that that's the law, and I have to, with being on a public platform like YouTube where people are watching me, I feel like I have to kind of do it by the book. So apologies for that. If you're in the UK, cheap post obviously, so you'll get it quick and it's affordable. So that's the announcement. 2ml samples first in probably, I haven't decided yet, a launch date, but I'll give you probably a week or two to test the fragrance out, see, you get a feel for whether you want to buy a bottle or not, basically. I know a lot of people probably might just blind buy the bottle and not even bother with a sample. If you do, I hope you like it and thank you for the trust. That's scary to me, but thank you. But yeah, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the perfume, what to expect, and all that. The perfume itself is very limited in quantity, as you can imagine. With the quality of the oud in here is extremely expensive to me. It looks like this is the, if you can see the colour of the juice. Beautiful rich colour. It will come in this particular pouch, was a different pouch to my main sample pack, which has a white logo and it's actually a thicker cotton. This is a little bit thinner with a copper bronze logo stamp, which I use for singular samples. And the card looks like this. The new cards have a rounded edge instead of sharp, and they're more gloss finish bottle on the back. So the fragrance is called Shambho. The word Shambho means the auspicious one, and to me it's a perfume to be self-reflective, asking the question, who am I? Are we really just this meat flesh puppet thing that we think is us? Are we really the thoughts in our head? It's an inner contemplation. I find oud, when I smell it, is kind of zen. It quiets your mind and you just, it creates like a peacefulness inside. That's the kind of, I remember taking my little Ensar Oud samples with me offshore, working offshore on the ship, and when I was kind of stressed out or have a bit of a break, I would dig it out of my bag and just sit and smell it in the storeroom. It's quite relaxing, it's kind of meditative. So I wanted to create kind of a more spiritual, meditative, zen-like fragrance to kind of quiet the mind, self-reflective. I had a bit of a change in my beliefs in the last year, which kind of pushed me in the direction of wanting to learn more about consciousness and spirituality. So getting into the fragrance itself, I wanted to create a very natural, it's 100% natural fragrance, a very natural smelling blend, which kind of paints this kind of picture of meditation in a forest, basically, in wildlife, in the mountains, in the hills, in the forests, by the trees, and that kind of inner contemplation of just sitting quietly with your eyes closed and going within. And that's kind of what I wanted to paint, a very natural, outside, in Mother Earth, in the environment, and in the natural world, which we're a part of, and just closing the eyes and being still and reflective and letting that kind of oud kind of quieten the thoughts, which is what it naturally does to me. Anyone that smells, natural oud will probably have a similar experience. And so I have this kind of combination of green forest elements with the core of the fragrance being the oud. There's also white ambergris here, which gives it kind of an ethereal mustiness to it. But I'm going to read you the notes from the card and explain a little bit more in depth. So the oud oils that I used in here, the most quantity of a single oud oil was Shen Liao Ling. This is a wild oud from Ensar, aged wild oud from 2006. He described it as a Morocco oud, which is like a earthy kind of petrichor smell. It smells like deep, soily earthiness. It's amazing. Very expensive too. So there's 33 grams of that went into here, into this very small blend, which is an insane amount of that oil. I also used Midori Chi, which is another wild aged oud from Ensar, and Midori Chi is kind of dark, kind of honey. It has a beautiful honeyed sweetness, which I thought was beautiful. I fell in love with those two. It also uses 15 grams of Oud Yusuf, which is a farmed organic Thai oud, which is a beautiful kind of fruity floral. A lot of people will be familiar with Oud Yusuf. It's the most beautiful, just clean, fruity floral. It's just amazing. It's like the gateway into oud. If you think that you don't like ouds, smell Oud Yusuf and you'll change your mind. It's amazing. So I used a good amount of that. And then there's also other ouds, but those were the main three that I played with in the biggest quantities. I also decided to use Zara Zen, Namasoma, Bhutan Blue, and Aroa Kayaku. So those are the ouds from Ensar that I decided to use. This is the little note breakdown. In here is also Pink Lotus Absolute. I use Lotus because of the spiritual connection of Lotus. Lotus Heart also represents chakras, used a lot in spiritual imagery. And so I wanted to use Lotus to connect to the spiritual motivation or inspiration for the fragrance. Other florals in here, I use Jasmine Sambac and Rose Absolute and Orris Butter. Those are other florals in here, but in smaller amounts. Lotus being the predominant floral. There is also green notes in here. I used Juniper Berry and Fir Balsam to give it this beautiful foresty greenness. So you'll, like I say, the oud obviously being woody already gives you that kind of foresty, woody, kind of natural earth feeling. Shen Liao Ling gives that earthiness, and then the kind of fruity floral of the Thai ouds. All of that combined with this kind of the general kind of beautiful woodiness that oud brings, I think pairs beautifully with the idea of being in a forest. So I wanted to create that kind of element. So the green elements of the Fir Balsam paint that kind of green forest, with obviously the woodiness of the oud bringing the core of the fragrance. I also used dark patchouli in the base. Again, a little bit of a green element and an earthy element. There's also a touch of oak moss and white ambergris, giving it an ethereal, musky quality. And also to help it lift a little bit off the skin with that ethereal kind of woof that it has. Because it is 100% natural, it will sit closer to the skin. And that's it. It's an expensive blend. It costs a lot to make because of the Ensar's quality of his ouds are incredible, but they come at a premium cost. and obviously it's got 2 wild aged ouds in there in high quantity. So the samples are a little bit expensive. It's £10 basically, and to be honest they should be more if to be honest, but £10 for the 2ml sample. The announcement of the bottle will come a little bit later. It will be a little bit pricey though, as you can imagine. But for now, this is just an announcement for the 2ml sample. I will do another video for the bottle when it's ready to launch. I haven't started even bottling them yet. All I have is a big box of samples ready to go. They'll be ready to post on Monday, so you'll get it soon. And then I will do another video announcing the full bottle. I'll be spending the next week, like I say, bottling, filling, crimping, putting them in the boxes, tying ribbons, putting stickers on. All of that I have to do still. So that will be my job for the next week, and hopefully, you know, by the time I get ready to launch the bottle properly in full, you will have tested out a sample and you'll know whether you want to get it or not. That's it. Just to mention, I did use Ensar's name on the label of the bottle. However, it's not a collaborative perfume. Ensar didn't play a role in making the perfume or any kind of ideas on how it should smell or anything. It's 100% Peter still, it's all me. And so it's not a collaborative perfume. However, I did request that I could use his name because of the quantity of the oud that I used, and it being all his oud. I don't use any oud from anybody else in this blend. And he was very gracious in allowing me to do that. I've met Ensar in person. We had a great, I think, like 2-hour talk and meeting where I smelled a lot of his ouds. We filmed it on video if you didn't see it, and he's just amazing. He's great, and so I consider his name as a stamp of quality. Really, it's what it means to me. It's a stamp of the highest quality for his artisan ouds that are just renowned for being incredible. They're amazing, beautiful, high quality artisan distilled ouds that come from pure love and passion for his craft. And to have his name on the bottle is important to me. It means something. It's a stamp of quality, and thank you to Ensar for allowing that. But again, just to make it clear, it's not collaborative in any other way apart from his ouds are in the blend, and I've got his backing because of that. He stands with his quality, so it means a lot, so thank you. And hopefully also it'll be nice for the Ensar collectors as well that will naturally might want to get this. You know that it's got the good stuff inside it. If you want to read a little bit more in depth about the fragrance, you can check out the wording on the website, which I've put together, which really explains what this perfume means to me and the idea and the concept behind it in greater detail. But to me, it represents a new part of my life which I never had before, of developing my own consciousness, working on my own consciousness and spirituality, which I had no spiritual inkling just a year and a half ago. And I had things happen to me in the last year which have changed me as a person and changed my view on reality and why we're here. And I wanted to do something that just marks that, represents that, shares that, matches that inspiration. Hopefully, even if you don't care about spirituality or any kind of questioning about life or who we are, like if none of that you care about, hopefully you will still enjoy the fragrance. Hopefully it still smells good. But that was the inspiration for it. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. It is, I would say, it is a perfume. Someone asked me is it an oud perfume or is it a perfume with oud? Actually, I would say it is a perfume where you can smell other notes, not just oud. You will definitely smell juniper berry and fir balsam. You will smell the green quality of those. You'll smell the forest atmosphere. You will for sure smell the oud because it's the highest percentage of oil in the formula. The oud is the highest amount in there out of everything. So you will obviously smell the oud. You'll also get the ambergris, you'll also smell the lotus. So you will smell a composition there. You're not just going to smell oud, but the oud is the core, it's the roots, it's the heart of the fragrance. and it's a symphony of oud. It's not one aspect of oud, there's many nuances because I use different varieties from different regions which all have these amazing profiles, and they're just working together to give this multifaceted, complex nuances of all these different ouds working together with this kind of forest environment, meditative Zen kind of quietening of the mind and being still and just letting the thoughts just melt away a little bit. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and take a read of the website if you want to purchase a sample. Like I say, 2 mils in limited quantities are available right now, and the bottles, I will do another video announcing the bottle probably in the next 2 weeks. I have to fill them first. And I'll speak to you soon. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.